what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
Hey everyone, welcome into the Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 126. I'm your host Expat, along with my co-hosts Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. How you guys doing? Carl, how you feeling now, man? Yeah.
You know, a little better getting over illness earlier this week. So
Yeah.
I'm not 100%, but I'm significantly better today than I was the last 3 days. Which is
Good,
great.
good. Burley, how about you? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I just can't wait for winter to be done.
Yeah. Well, for you
Not
guys
too
out
much
here,
longer, right?
yeah, not too much longer. Yeah.
Yeah, not too much longer, but it can't come fast enough. Can we start, Elon? Can you do one good thing? Start giving us some flamethrowers.
But Burley, I thought you don't want to go out. You really don't care about going outside. So, like, you know, what does the winter matter?
True.
Well, for you guys, I mean, out here in Japan, winter is pretty much over now. For the past like 5 days, we've had like 70-degree weather. I mean, that's like, 20, 22 degrees in the afternoon, and then it gets back down to about 50 degrees in the evening and all. But still, I mean, yeah, it's really starting to warm up here, which means, of course, the allergy season is starting to kick in. So, the flip side is, it gets warmer, but then you get, all the allergies and stuff like that. So, with all the cedar pollen that we have out here in Japan in the Tokyo area. But anyway.
So with winter in Japan over now, I think we can look at that and say, okay, you have until March 11th of next year for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to come out. They said winter.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about Octopath Traveler 2 a little bit. Sony still worried about Microsoft getting Call of Duty. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the Capcom Spotlight that happened this week. And then, of course, our topic of the show, we got some big news about Xbox and Starfield with Xbox Bethesda. So Starfield, had some big news we're going to talk about, as well as our picks of the week and the Game Pass games that are going to be released soon, or if not already. So, but before we get into the show, talking about the stuff that we've been playing this past week, and of course, all the stories, here's a brief word about where you can find the podcast in audio and video format.
Before the crew discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast's ad-free version in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry Tier 1 level at $1 per month, and get every episode including exclusive ad-free post-show content in video format when recorded, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. The audio version of the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in the video version will be on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, I'll go ahead and talk about what I've been playing. Wolong, Fallen Dynasty. I played some more of that today, actually, and I got it's funny. It reminds me so much of Bloodborne and all the Souls games where you fight your way. You fight like 10 to 20, soldiers, and then you get to the main boss, the first boss battle, and just get obliterated.
And then he one shots you. And then
No, not one shot. I mean, I was in the fight for like a good 10, 15 minutes, and then I died. Yeah, but still, I mean, it's just that euphoria and excitement you get that you're actually going to defeat this thing, and then you die.
Then that boss says, "Oh, you think you're gonna win? I'll
Yeah.
show you."
Yeah. So, but
I heard
don't.
that first boss is really, really tough.
Yes. I heard somebody it like took 5 hours to be able to defeat that thing, but yeah. So I gave it a break after that, but yeah, I mean, it's like I said last week. I mean, it's beautiful. It's fun to play. If you're into the Souls type of games, you'll enjoy it. It's fun to play. So you're going through these like really kind of narrow corridors, and then you get to a particular spot, and then you put a flag down where it's almost like a save point. And then you keep going on, and then when you get to the boss battle area, it's a big wide field that you're fighting this thing in. So kind of reminds me of Bloodborne a little bit in that sense, and the Souls games. But yeah, it's fun to play. I wanted to get back to the Quarry. Didn't get a chance this week. Hopefully I will next week. But anyway. So yeah, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. I'm still playing. And it's on Game Pass. So all of you Game Pass subscribers, get it and try it. It's really fun to play. So Burley.
Q Ninja taught me to not play their games long ago when I got Ninja Gaiden Black on the original Xbox. And I got past that first boss, right? He's got like nunchucks or something. He's in like a small room. But then the second boss was like this guy riding a horse. I think he has some sort of pole arm, right, on a bridge. Yeah. Never beat that guy. Never. And I was like, you know what, this ain't for me. Yeah. See you later. Yeah. I even tried it again on like, that game runs backwards compatible with updates, and it looks fantastic on Xbox Series X. Yeah. But man, it's so hard. I don't want to take the time to be good at it.
Well, it's the thing about these games. It's like the bosses are they go in waves, right? It's like you think you've defeated the boss, his health bar goes all the way to 0. It's like, and then you think you beat it, and then there's another cutscene, and then you start up again. It's like round 2.
No, they do that.
Yeah, it's like round 2, and then like round 2, and then like a round 3. But I mean, it's crazy.
There was one RPG that did that, like turn-based RPG, Breath of Fire. You remember Breath of Fire on a Capcom game? They did that where you kill the boss, you take his bar down, and he'd like fade, and then he'd get up and he'd have more life. And I was like, God, no! Like, who does this? This is not something that happens.
It's depressing. It really is. I mean, it's like you think you've vanquished the foe, and it just comes right back. And it's like, and then it has like a double bar. It's like
it's messed up.
So. But a lot of games are like that now, though. Even the Judgment games, right, Burley? Like the Judgment games, the final boss. It's like 2. I think it's like 3 times you have to.
Yeah, it's 3 phases. Like I think at the end of the first phase, you literally he gets up, he's like dusts himself off, rips the shirt, and then it just goes into the fight.
Just keeps going.
Yeah.
So it's like you get your money's worth, basically. But so. Okay, Burley, what have you been playing?
I ended up trying the Resident Evil demo last night, the chainsaw demo. It is good, and I played it on the PS5. Visually, it looks good. It ran well, but it is not. It can be a longer demo. Like I just did one trek through. You can unlock the super hard, like the really hard version, and I think it gives you extra. It's like I don't care enough to do this because this is a game I've already played because I played the original Resident Evil 4 way back when, and it does keep faithfully to the story. Like it changes and adds some stuff. but it's not very long.
Mm.
Like, you played the first bit with the first chapter with Leon in Resident Evil 4, you'll know where it goes.
Okay.
And I finished off Hogwarts Legacy story.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a very good game. I'm very happy I did pick this up. I still got a ton of side content to go to, but I'm just taking a break right now of that because there's that game. I would almost say too much you can do.
Now, no spoilers, but in Hogwarts Legacy, in the story ending, could there be multiple endings depending on which house you're in?
I don't know really. I know I don't have the true ending because you have to get your field guide. You have to have it a certain percentage.
Okay,
and then
so
you go,
if there's a true ending, that means that there are multiple endings because you have a different one then, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What percentage do you need? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I haven't looked it up. It doesn't tell you in the game. It just says complete more of your field guide and go see back whatever professor who's in charge of your house.
Okay. What percentage are you at?
I think in the 40s. I'll be honest.
I think I'm in like 67 or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Carl, what about you? Hogwarts still? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really play much. I was sick. I didn't really play much of anything.
Okay.
With the exception of, I did randomly. I was like, I was feeling really sick, and then eventually I was like, I feel slightly good enough to like play a game.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I don't really want to get into anything that I've already started. So I'm like, let me just pick something different, maybe something that I've had sitting on my Xbox, installed and out of my wheelhouse. So I booted up Deathloop.
Oh, okay.
And I played that for maybe an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool. I was impressed. Not usually my type of game, but I like the presentation a lot with the story. I like how your character is like, doesn't know what's going on. He's getting there's words showing up in the environment, telling him things.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really clever, and the presentation is really nice of things like that. And the story seems interesting. The dynamic between him and Juliana is fantastic. It's I see the praise, and I think it's definitely a fun sandbox, even though I don't even have any really cool abilities yet.
Oh, just wait till you get the abilities. The abilities are so fun.
Yeah, I think that's maybe one complaint so far is an hour in, I'm like, all right, I know maybe I need to wait a little more because that's not that long for a video game.
Yeah.
But I was like, God, give me something really different or out there. I know it's probably coming very soon. I just didn't get there yet.
Yeah.
You start with I don't know if that's how you start with everyone. Is the double jump what you start with everyone?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one you always get, the double jump.
Because I had that, and I'm like, I never used it. I was like, oh, I forgot. I was looking at my stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I have double jump. Okay.
Yo, trust me. When you're going for your perfect loop, when you're getting all your targets, you're gonna be using the double jump in all your other abilities. This is as they say, you're just gonna die to farm to get everything you need for your perfect loop. Is that way you get it?
Yeah.
Sounds cool. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So it's time to get into the weekly news beat. So we had some interesting gaming stories this week, and one particularly was interesting, and it deals with Japan and Octopath Traveler 2. And Octopath Traveler was a huge success out here in Japan, as was a success out west as well. But apparently Octopath Traveler 2 is not doing so well out here in Japan. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the story here as I get everything loaded up here. So this is, of course, from Games Radar. So Square Enix's RPG sequel only just launched on the 24th of February, but game sales data has already been reported from Japan, courtesy of of the game data library, Octopath Traveler 2 has reportedly sold just 78,000 copies across PS5, PS4, and Nintendo Switch in its first week on the market. This figure means Octopath Traveler 2 is the second weakest Team Asano game launch in Japan at retail. It's beaten in that category only by 2022's Live Alive remake, which sold around 71,000 copies at launch in Japan. So Live Alive only launched on the Nintendo Switch, though, where Octopath Traveler 2 is available across PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. So, yeah, one of my coworkers, she's playing it, and she was telling me that it's ranked number 2 on the Nintendo eShop here in Japan. But yeah, I was I was surprised by these numbers. What about for you guys?
Yeah, it's a little sad, I suppose. You think that the Switch, there's a lot more units out there when Octopath launched, so they should have sold more. So, yeah, think about what's really going on. I mean, is it fatigue in this style? We got it, Triangle Strategy and Live Alive, and now we got it again here. Maybe it also has something to do with the mobile game. I don't know how popular that is, but I feel like it might have been fairly popular. You guys know about the Octopath Traveler mobile game?
I've heard
of it,
I've heard of it, but never.
Yeah, it was in Japan earlier, and then eventually came to the West.
Yeah,
and those games, I don't think they come to the West if they aren't doing well. A lot of those games, because there was no guarantee that game was coming here. And I tried it out, and it is very much like another Octopath. It doesn't actually feel all that different. Like there's sort of a mobilization of how it plays. It's sort of like sped up or like quickened in a bit. But it is very much like an Octopath Traveler 1.5. So I don't know. Maybe there's a little fatigue, right?
Well, I mean, and the mobile market is huge out here in Japan too. So maybe people are playing that more at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But Triangle Strategy I saw on that list sold a little bit better at launch, and it went on to sell over 1 million copies worldwide.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a good chance, being that this is on more platforms worldwide, numbers could be better.
Yeah. And the saturation of games too, out here in Japan. I mean, a lot of younger gamers out here are playing Splatoon, as well as some of the other RPG elemental games. So it's got a lot of competition. So yeah, Burley, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, I think it's saturation, and just like people remember how long the first game was. The first game was quite a long game. So some people are like, do I really want to buy this right now and get, have like an 80+ hour game here that I do I really want to pay full price, have this long game that I don't know if I'm going to finish right now. We've had quite a few RPGs have launched already. Like you've had Fire Emblem on the Switch that launched in end of January, and other games. It's just like, I think people are just like they're fatigued, and it's just like, do I really want to play this? Like I have not heard much, honestly. When this came out, it just kind of came and went. I have not heard very many people talking about Octopath Traveler 2, so I don't know if there's also maybe like a thing of quality. People were expecting more from this, or does this game just do the bare minimum?
Do you think it could be because Octopath Traveler 2 seems to completely, veer away from the first story, in the case that this is a different setting, different characters and all. So maybe that might be one of the reasons why people haven't picked it up so soon yet. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, it's not new, this anymore, right? There was like I said, the style, this 2D HD thing.
Yeah.
When this was the game that launched it, and everyone was like, wow, this looks amazing. Like, I really want to try this. But then, maybe that's the thing, is people tried it and it wasn't really for them, but they got it because it was doing something different that they wanted to see. The second one comes out and it's more of the same. and arguably equal to or better, depending on reviews that you look at.
Yeah.
But does that make it successful? Not necessarily. These games are, I know, niche, even though it's my favorite genre of game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's the whole thing. This is not a number 2, but it's not connected really to the first one, because we've had for years Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest where they're not necessarily connected. You'll go from Final Fantasy 1 to 2, and it's different world, different characters, and all that.
Yeah. Maybe Square Enix isn't marketing it well. I don't really know. Also, Square Enix is having its fair bit of trouble, because I guess I'll bring up the Forspoken sales were apparently also lackluster, according to Square Enix.
Yeah.
They cite that reviews of Forspoken have been challenging. And that's one of the reasons.
At the least, right? At the
Right?
least.
And they said sales were lackluster and a considerable downside risk to our fiscal year 23 earnings.
Yeah.
How about make a better product, and you'll get better sales and better reviews. I know it's a novel concept.
Square's been having some trouble. They changed their, what was it? Was it the CEO or who was it?
His CEO just stepped down.
CEO, yeah.
They announced something about the like NFT game or blockchain game, like still.
Yeah, they're still doubling down into that.
Oh yeah, they won't get rid of that.
Because I don't think it was related. It might have been related to the same, maybe the earnings call, whatever they were talking about Forspoken, where they mentioned he's like, oh yeah, we got some games coming like this blockchain game, but like people are like nobody cares. That's not a plus. Nobody's like, oh yeah, sorry Forspoken did so well. We'll get that blockchain game instead.
But all those NFTs I can get, man.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that nonsense.
Well, let us know.
Could just be that they're not on Xbox, right? Not kidding.
Well, let us know in the chat or in the comments what you think might be one of the reasons why Octopath Traveler 2 is not sold well in Japan to this date, and about Forspoken and the Square Enix situation in general. Let us know what you think about that. So,
If Final Fantasy 16 isn't a major hit, they're going to be in some big trouble.
Yeah, and then Sony will buy them out, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's actually already the deal is on the table. I mean, I know nothing.
Yeah, right.
Well, this is off topic, but what do you think? What do you think of the news that's been floating around? Of course, it's that Sony is going to buy Take-Two Interactive.
Yeah, that's not. They can't even afford that.
Yeah,
they can't afford that.
Yeah.
They got a better chance of affording Square than Take-Two.
Yeah. Could you imagine PlayStation having, Grand Theft Auto? Could you just imagine that? And then you know what Sony would probably do? Sony would probably make it a buggy mess for Xbox.
Oh yeah. Good luck getting past the regulators, Sony.
Exactly.
After crying about Call of Duty, and then you're going to take away Grand Theft Auto. You're going to act like Grand Theft Auto isn't as big of a deal.
Yeah, and that is our next story, guys. Of course, Sony's worried that Microsoft is still worried that Microsoft will sabotage Call of Duty for the PlayStation. Yeah, so this story came from The Verge. So I'm going to read a little bit of it for you, and you can, of course, go to the link that is below there. So Sony has laid out its concern about Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard, including a host of fears about the future of Activision's Call of Duty franchise. In new documents submitted to the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA, Sony says it's worried that Microsoft could raise the price of Call of Duty, make it only available on its own Xbox Game Pass subscription service, and even strategically or incidentally degrade the quality and performance of Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony cites a specific hypothetical situation. I just love these, man. Just these hypothetical situations where Microsoft could release a Call of Duty game on PlayStation that has bugs and errors on the final level. Here's Sony's example in full. Microsoft might release a PlayStation version of Call of Duty where bugs and errors emerge only on the game's final level or after later updates. Even if such degradations could be swiftly detected, any remedy would likely come too late, by which time the gaming community would have lost confidence in PlayStation as a go-to venue to play Call of Duty. Indeed, as Modern Warfare 2 attests, Call of Duty is most often purchased in just the first few weeks of release. If it became known that the game's performance on PlayStation was worse than on Xbox, Call of Duty gamers could decide to switch to Xbox for fear of playing their favorite game at a second-class or less competitive venue. I mean, this man. I mean, this. I still love Sony games. You know, I really do. I love a lot of their first-party games. They're amazing games. But I mean, just how their corporate, people are dealing with this situation and reacting to this potential buyout. It's almost like somebody on opioids that just cannot face reality and just blurts out a bunch of just senseless accusations about why they need to take opioids. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it really is. I mean, if the CMA is dumb enough to actually, side with Sony on this, because what they're saying, that they're actually going to sabotage games, I mean, then the CMA shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Your guys' thoughts. Carl, I'll start with you on this one. Go for it, man.
This just reeks of desperation. It's sad. There's no truth behind it. I mean, it's if you look at the way the industry works, I mean, there is no one regulating any of this.
Yeah.
So when you look at, Callisto Protocol recently, mysteriously on Xbox, the ray trace reflections were turned off on the Xbox version at launch, right? But it wasn't like that on PS5. And guess who also had some people work on Callisto Protocol? Sony had some people working on that game.
Of course.
But now, I'm not saying they actually did anything, because that's insane. They wouldn't do that. Although maybe that's where they got the idea from. They're like, oh, we could have done that. So I think Microsoft was thinking the same thing, and they're going to do it. I don't know if you guys know. Did you know that when you're playing Minecraft on PS5, when you get to the Ender Dragon, for like half of a second, he turns into a picture of Phil Spencer flipping the bird, and then the game hard crashes.
Really?
No, obviously not. Like,
I was gonna say, no way.
total.
Come on, Carl.
Like
lies, fake news.
Like that's an Xbox game, a produced game on PlayStation. Minecraft Dungeons, Minecraft Legends is coming. Like, you could even look at Wasteland 3 came out after Microsoft owned them, and they gave them extra time, so they could have thrown extra bugs in there, But the game was still buggy on Xbox too. Like, guess what? Game development's hard. Okay, none of these game developers are throwing in bugs on specific platforms just to screw with anything. And that would be like devastating to Microsoft if they were caught doing something like that.
Yeah.
And the goal is to grow the brand of Call of Duty. They don't want like they don't want it to look bad for some reason on one platform. They don't care. You're gonna get it on Game Pass on their platform. The one argument I was like, yeah, that makes sense, is they said that, oh, they're not gonna prioritize features like haptics, and probably the triggers on the controller. And I'm like, yeah, they're probably not, but no one else does either. Because nobody cares about those features.
Yeah.
I care.
Okay. Sorry, Burley.
Yeah.
Tell us
Burley's in
your
the minority. Yeah.
Tell us.
I'm the minority on that. I will admit it.
Yeah, but I mean, guys, this is just, like you said, it just reeks of desperation, and just they're playing off the naivety of the CMA. Sony is. Because the CMA, and these regulators, and they don't know much about the game industry. They really don't. And so Sony's just trying to play off of that, I think. And even Jim Ryan was, I guess he was even quoted as saying that he doesn't want this He wants the acquisition to fail. It's just, I mean, this podcast is a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Yes, I'm wearing an Xbox hat today because we're talking about Starfield and our topic of the show. But I mean, this is just a really bad look for Sony. It really is.
Yeah. There's no data to back up what they're saying. And honestly, Microsoft could produce data that would say the opposite based on games that are already out there. I mean, like MLB The Show and what's it called? Destiny 2 Lightfall just came out. Like Lightfall. Sony owns those. Did they sabotage that? Like, why did they think that Microsoft's going to do it, but they're not going to do it? Like, I don't understand.
They're doing and saying anything to make to try and get into foolish people's minds. Like this, I honestly want to just say to Jim Ryan, go listen to Jamie's crying because you just sound like that. You're like this is just insanity. Let's say hypothetically, Microsoft they get Call of Duty, they get Activision Blizzard. The next Call of Duty comes to PlayStation, and it's worse on the PS5. People aren't going to blame the PS5. They're going to be like, well, Microsoft just bought them. What the heck? Why'd you do this, Microsoft and Activision? I ain't going to buy your next game on PlayStation. I ain't give you money. It's more of a negative to them for that to do that than it is to PlayStation. PlayStation's wanting to have their cake and eat it too, and get everything they want with their competitors getting nothing.
What was it? I was just going to say, I'm sorry, Burley. There was a report that came out that said if Call of Duty actually left PlayStation, maybe PlayStation would probably only lose like 3% of its market share. I mean, I mean, it's like it would not put much of a significant dent in PlayStation's profit margin.
It would hurt, but it wouldn't kill them. No, that's the thing. They're just mad that they're not going to get the exclusive stuff because they had so much for those Call of Duties. They had so much exclusive stuff. Yeah. And they're mad they're not going to get that.
That's exactly the thing. Is they're mad that they're not getting the better version anymore. They're actually mad that they're getting equal versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the better version obviously brings more players.
Well, and like they got the exclusive extra betas earlier, longer betas and all this and that, the better, an extra map or two if you're on PlayStation, an extra thing. Like, I think if I'm not mistaken, like some of those remasters came to PlayStation. They were timed exclusives. They came to PlayStation for like 6 months to a year first, and then came to Xbox. So it's like they got all this crazy amount of stuff and all the marketing for a lot of those Call of Duties. PlayStation was big and forefront, and the Xbox logo, if it was there, was in like the little corner.
Yeah, I mean,
they're mad. They're not going to get that anymore. And it's instead of bitching and complaining, Sony, what you should be doing, okay, if you can't get that with Call of Duty and that's starting to go away, I'd be looking at some of my other things and making little deals with them if you wanted to strike back.
Well, I think part of it, Burley and Carl, is, they're still trying to live in the PlayStation 4 generation, which was just an amazingly successful run for them. And it's just, that era's gone now. And we have a new era, and we have a new group of people in Xbox that actually really care about gamers and want to make the brand successful and make it successful everywhere and for all gamers. And that's what Sony is afraid of. So
Sony wanted to kill the Xbox brand. They were hoping that the PS4 Xbox One generation was the nail in the coffin. And this next generation was just going to be the last one for Xbox. And it turned out that the opposite is true, that they've doubled down and they're doing better than ever. Yeah. And they're making more and bigger investments into gaming because gaming is really huge right now. It's a gigantic market. And there's tons of money to be made there. And Microsoft realizes this.
Well, yeah, it's like the old expression, they woke up the sleeping giant.
Mm-hmm.
So... Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we will continue to keep an eye on this coverage. I think in the next month or so, we're supposed to be getting the final verdict from the CMA and what goes on from there. But yeah, we shall see.
Yeah, and end of April has deadlines for the UK and CMA. So
Yep.
We shall see.
We shall see for sure. Okay, it's time to move on. So now it's let's get to Capcom, because earlier this week we had a Capcom Spotlight. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the link from IGN. You can go over there and see all of the things that were announced at the Capcom Spotlight for March of this year. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play some of the trailers from what they showed. This trailer that I'm going to show, though, does not have they showed the Resident Evil movie thing. So that's kind of movie related. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So first up, of course, we got the Resident Evil 4 special demo. So Capcom revealed the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw demo, which you played, Burley. It's
my favorite moment is coming up soon.
Yep.
Do you know what it is? There it is, right there.
Yeah, this trial.
No time limit. Okay. When I saw that, I was like, you shouldn't have to announce that. But I'm glad you realized that your time limit demos are really, really dumb, and I hate that.
So anyway, this trial version of the game takes place at the beginning of the game as Leon first enters the iconic European village. So yeah, we got that. Yeah. So anyway, but
yeah, if anyone's curious on how Resident Evil 4 is going to be the remake, try the demo.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
Yeah, as Carl was saying, there is no time limit on the demo, so you can play it as many times as you want. You can download it on PlayStation 5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Series S, and Steam.
Enjoy it as long as you like.
Yeah. As long as you like. Yeah.
You know what? I used to love the Resident Evil demos. Like there's something they always used to do demos, and I remember I might play it multiple times. There's a time limit on these things. I'm like, well, that's it. I guess I'm done.
And
Thanks,
then the pre-order bonuses. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The attaché case and the charm handgun ammo. Yeah. But yeah, good stuff. So thank you for watching.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. And yeah. So this is a little bit of the final part they showed here of
RE4.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
We're getting Donkey Kong Country in there with the minecart.
Yeah.
My memory of this game is so fuzzy.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Exoprimal and Carl is coming to Game Pass, man. So excited for that. Exoprimal release date was revealed. Got the new trailer and release date, which is coming to Xbox Series X, Series S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, PS4, and Steam on July 14th. So if you have Game Pass, July 14th is the day to look forward to. So dinosaur hunting action, as well as an introduction to some of the game's characters. The trailer also says that Exoprimal is an always online game with a continuous internet connection required. There will also be an open beta test with cross-platform matchmaking from March 17th through the 19th. Go ahead, Carl. You were going to say something there.
I think it's a good get for Game Pass, for sure. Mm-hmm. It's not, obviously, you probably know this isn't my kind of game. But it looks like a cool game. Like it looks, as far as like the way it plays, like it looks interesting. I like what's going on. I think the characters look interesting. Like designs are good, for these mech suits and everything. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, Capcom showing some support for Xbox is nice.
Yes,
I'd like to see that.
Yes, yeah.
This just looks like crazier Earth Defense Force.
It is like gonna have a battle pass, and it is a service type game, but they're not. It's not like they aren't being upfront about that, right? So like if you like that sort of thing, this is one of those games, and here it is. Versus Suicide Squad, which we'll talk about at some point, I think isn't what anybody expected, right? It's not meeting any expectations, and it's doing things that people don't expect from that type of game,
right? Right.
No, this coming to Game Pass actually it's like, oh, I'll actually try this now. Because I'll be honest, that this was nothing I was going to drop $100 to go
Right. Yeah.
play, and I forgot about that game because they announced it like 2 years ago, and then it was like, okay, we haven't heard anything in a long time on it.
Yeah.
Oh, you get a special metal charm if you try the beta.
Yeah.
It's a cross-platform matchmaking.
Yeah.
Very nice. I mean,
Custom
designs are
skins.
really cool. All these designs for all these suits, these skins, they
Yeah.
look great. So, like, I think they could have a winner on this. If it's a fun game and people really take to it.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, they're not taking it seriously because you see just random black orbs dropping a bunch of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're not taking it seriously. They're going into the cheese.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah. Next up, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, coming to PlayStation and Xbox this April. So yeah, Monster Hunter Rise came to Xbox and PlayStation platforms earlier this year, and now hunters can look forward to the Sunbreak expansion on April 28th. Sunbreak, which released on Switch and Steam last year, adds 2 new locations, a new hub world, and a ton of new Master Rank monsters and weapons. Capcom also announced a new Sunbreak digital event set for April to share information about the next title update for Switch and Steam players. So what'd you guys think of this announcement?
I mean, it's like, yeah, okay. And we obviously this is already out on Switch, right? Like, this isn't a new expansion. We knew it existed.
It's just more Monster Hunter. Like, I got nothing against these games, like, because I played the World because they gave that a free away through the PS Plus collection. It's just these games I never get too excited because I know I'll play the first 5 to 6 hours. We don't have to grind too much. And then it gets to that point where you get to a boss where it's like, okay, now I got to grind my weapon from plus 4 to plus 20 to be able to do more than 2 damage and really do damage and get my armor. It's like, yeah.
Okay, next up, Ghost Trick is launching on June 30th. So the original Ghost Trick was a DS title from the creator of Capcom's Ace Attorney franchise, Shu Takumi. The game stars Sissel, a dead detective who can possess and trick real-world objects to save people from their own demise. The remaster features updated graphics, a better frame rate, and new challenge feature. Now, plus all 37 songs from the soundtrack have newly arranged versions from the composer of the great Ace Attorney's soundtrack. So, yeah. What'd you guys think of this one?
I had never heard of this franchise. This was shown at the Direct, I think. Was it? And then
yeah, I think briefly. Yeah, just
yeah.
I
think I was surprised it's coming to Xbox also, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep supporting. I think the only one that wasn't was still the Metroid. Sorry, not Metroid. Mega Man Legacy Collection Network. Mega Man Network.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, Battle Network Collection.
Too many words in that name. Yeah, it's still not on Xbox for some reason. But everything else. But this is like, you're gonna put this game. They think this will sell better on Xbox than a Mega Man game. Okay, guys.
Mega Man's not that big for Capcom.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm being.
What are you smoking, Burley? You're using too much spiritual opium, my friend.
Yeah, I was gonna say I never smoke anything. Just drinking some pure, good old spiritual opium clears your mind, kids, and makes you believe Sony is right.
Okay. Enough of that. So,
the PSP got one of my favorite Mega Man games.
Hey, do you know it's not Mega Man in Japan?
It's Rockman.
Do you know?
Rockman?
It's called Rockman.
Yeah,
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
That's right.
Rock and roll, baby.
Mega Man Powered Up. Did you guys ever play that one on PSP?
I played.
Oh yeah, a long time ago. Yeah.
Fantastic.
See, I'm not as much of the classic. I had Maverick Hunter X.
Yeah.
Some more of the X series.
Yeah, I never liked the X games. I was like big into Metroid 1, 2, and 3 as a kid. And then 4, I was like, all right, here we go. This is just more of the same. Like, I just didn't really care anymore.
Yeah.
Mega Man Powered Up I was so disappointed that they did not do Mega Man Powered Up 2 and 3 because it was right there. I don't know why.
Or just release it on other platforms so it's not just on the PSP.
Yeah, that game and Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 were sort of like trapped in the past, and those are some of my favorite Mega Man games.
Yeah.
But Ghost Trick's coming back, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's favorite franchise.
That's
Ghost
right.
Trick.
Hey, I'll be interested to check this out and try it out eventually. It's just because it said it's coming in June. Yeah. June 30th. I got Final Fantasy 16 coming out a couple days prior. Final Fantasy 16 is taking priority in June.
No,
okay.
How can I pay to make you stream Ghost Trick instead of Final Fantasy? What's that going to cost me?
Talk to my manager, Crumletta. She'll let you know.
Your manager, come on. Yeah.
This is a 2010 game from Japan, or 2011 originally. Ghost Trick. And worldwide. Oh my god, it's so old.
Here we go. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection adds new content. We got, of course, a new trailer for Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. It's coming April 14th. This collection will include 499 patch cards that were previously exclusively available in Japan as physical collectibles. Now all players will be able to use these cards in battle from Battle Network 4 and onwards. The developers also introduced Mega Buster Mode, which amplifies your attack power by 100 to allow players to get through battles faster.
Oh God, and they do need that on some of the later games. You just like it. The amount you have to really do with the Navicuster and all, like really check your chips and all that. It is nice to see they're doing all this, but it's just still, this is a collection. If I'm going to buy it, I'm waiting for it to heavily go on sale because I know how much, like, yeah, these are RPG. They're all RPGs and they're long games, and like you're getting all the different versions of the games, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't need I don't need this right away. But it is nice to see them giving the content that Japan got that we didn't get.
Yeah,
We're here in the
Mode. Yeah.
If I had to guess, like I don't think this game's gonna do very well in this collection, and that's probably why it's not on Xbox. So like it's not like we're not gonna push in any units no matter where we put it. So like we're just gonna. I think it feels like a preservation effort more than anything.
Well, this is just keeping going down the line because they keep every like year or two they're giving another collection for our sub series.
Yeah, but I mean it's like retro classics, man. Yeah.
That like I'm proud. It's nice to see them putting out another collection. This is just one of the ones that is the more niche one, because now all that we have left, they haven't done Star Force and the Legends.
Oh yeah.
And people are wondering when are we going to get those?
Yeah.
What about that other Mega Man? Well, there's only one of them. That was a turn-based RPG. What's the name of it? It's like a PS2 game.
Well, one thing I do want to say is that the language rendering and everything takes time for these games too. So.
There's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one of the reasons why it takes so long to get out to the West. Yeah. And
Command Mission, Mega Man X Command Mission.
Oh, that one. That one's not a bad turn-based RPG, but here's the thing, like that. But there are certain games, like because they've done these collections, they just haven't included them. Because there's like Mega Man Soccer, Mega Man Base, Mega Man Base, Mega Man Ride Chase. Like there's just some of these, and the two Power Fighter games that were arcade cabinets. They put those on the original Mega Man Legacy Collection. Mega Man Collection back on the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era.
Power Battles or something.
Yeah, they never put them on the Legacy collections they sold. It's a weird thing because we have like this weird leftovers. And it's like for Legends, what are you going to do? Are you going to do 1 and 2, or are you not? Or will you include Misadventures of Tronbon?
You should.
Yeah. Or you can play the offshoot Mighty Number 9.
Probably
No.
not a good idea.
I streamed
Not
that
a
game.
good idea. Not a good idea.
No. Even with bug
Yeah.
fixes and patches,
Yeah.
that game is still.
No, it's not a real Mega Man game as far as I'm concerned. But anyway,
What's the Mega Man creator's name?
Kenji Inafune.
Inafune, right?
yeah, Inafune.
I was following him on another like
Inafune-san.
Kickstarter type project.
Yeah.
A while back that never succeeded. He was trying to make like a Mega Man Legends sort of.
Oh, like
spiritual
Red
successor.
Bash or something like that.
Red something, yeah. I forget the
Yeah.
name of it. And at one point they're like, "We got funding from a Chinese company. We're gonna do it," and this never existed. It never happened.
Yeah, and yeah, that's all right. So we also at the Capcom Spotlight, and I don't have any video footage or anything of this, but we got the Resident Evil Death Island movie that they added Jill Valentine to, as well as Street Fighter 6 is introducing a new commentator, Takahashi Hikaru. So yeah, so we got those announcements as well during the Capcom Spotlight event. So yeah, so interesting stuff there. Yeah. Okay, it's time to move on, guys. Time for the topic of the show. So, like I said earlier in the show, I'm wearing my Xbox hat today because, of course, our topic of the show is Xbox related. Xbox Bethesda. Obviously, we got our release date for Starfield. And, you know, some people are a little disappointed that it's being delayed and all. But, I mean, it's only a few months off from supposedly what the release window was. But yeah, Bethesda, they had their announcement. So, and what's interesting about this is that they're going to have a Starfield Direct, which is going to be the same day as the Xbox Game Showcase on June 11th. Yeah. Which that's pretty cool. So I mean, it's basically their E3 combined together. So yeah. So of course, the story from IGN, Bethesda has delayed Starfield once again, but as the game is launching in September, it's going to launch for PC and Xbox Series X and S. And there's also going to be a Starfield Direct on June 11th, right after the Xbox Game Showcase. In a new official launch date announcement trailer, which we just showed here, Todd Howard confirmed that the highly anticipated game will release this year. Quote, "We have poured ourselves into this game, and even I'm surprised how much we can pour. It is large. We're playing the game all the time," end quote, he explained. So it goes on to the Starfield Direct in June will provide a deep dive into the game. As Howard continued, quote, "There's so much that we still have to show you. The game has many of the hallmarks that you'd expect from us, but it's also a very unique experience," end quote. So, yeah. My question to you guys as we move on here, talking about the topic of the show. So he says that there's so much in this game, and there's still so much they haven't shown you yet. I mean, this game must be so large in scope. And I know Burley has reiterated to me over and over again about Bethesda games being so buggy at launch. And them giving this a new release date of September, that gives them 6 months from now to get things ready. Do you really think that this game is going to be that successful at launch without the stories of all the bugs and everything from previous Bethesda titles? Your thoughts? Carl, I'll start with you.
I mean, it's absolutely going to be successful, and I don't think the bug stories are really going to matter, and I don't think they're going to be there for this game. They gave this game an extra 10 months since the original release date.
Mm-hmm.
And that's plenty of time, I'd say. And I would probably assume that the reason they did that was because they wanted to make sure this game is as close to perfect as possible, because this is their big play right now, right? It's for Xbox. This is the biggest thing they have. It's the biggest thing probably they're going to have for a long time. Not that they don't have other big, great looking games coming from first party, but this is the next Bethesda RPG. This is a new IP from them.
Yeah.
These games are massive. This has to hit, and they do not want the story to be like, oh, it's a bugging mess at launch. Like they want the story to be, wow, this game is incredible.
Yeah, as I said before, this is like No Man's Sky on steroids.
I mean, I hate to hear that because I mean,
Yeah.
No Man's Sky is not at all remotely close to a Bethesda RPG. So,
well, yeah. But I mean, the premise. I mean, of this, you're in space and you're exploring, and you can go into millions of different planetary systems and planets and things like that. So, in that sense,
right. But I feel that if someone's like, oh yeah, it's something like No Man's Sky, and you go to play this, and you've only played No Man's Sky and none of the other Bethesda games, you'd be like, what the hell is this game?
Right.
Like, because it's gonna be like there's gonna be vast like cities, with tons of NPCs, and it's gonna be all these quests. It's gonna be like dungeons.
Well, that's why it's like on steroids. I mean, it's a much bigger game in scope and in mass and everything. So, yeah,
it's gonna be like dialogue options.
And,
skill trees, and I mean, I don't think No Man's Sky is. They have upgrades and stuff. But.
Yeah, Burley, what are your thoughts on all of this? Is it going to be a buggy mess at launch?
Oh, there's going to be bugs. Every game has bugs. Let's be honest. But like Bethesda has shown that they keep delaying this, that they are really caring about this, how this is coming out, which is really giving me a lot of respect and a lot of confidence. Yeah, you're going to have some graphical bugs and stuff like that. And all these news publications, as they're going to be praising the game, but they're going to be running stories and being like, how did this compare against Skyrim's launch? Oblivion's launch? They still had this kind of bug. They had that kind of bug. You're going to get those news cycle stories running for the first couple weeks of this game coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this game is going to be, I think it'll have a good amount of polish to it because they've kept delaying, and they know they want to get this when it comes out ready, and everything we've seen from the game looks so good. So I have really high hopes on that.
Yeah. What type of element of this game are you looking forward to the most? I mean, the combat elements, like we're seeing a little bit of here, or the RPG elements, the customization elements of this game, the dialogue choices, and the way the story goes. I mean, what are you guys looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I mean, I like the interesting quest designs that they have had in past games.
Mm-hmm.
Skyrim has some great quest lines in it. Oblivion did as well. Fallout 4 is the one where I think people criticize a bit more because some of it wasn't as good. I still really enjoyed that game. There was a lot of good stuff in it. I love building aspects. I love character creation, and I love character. What's the word I'm looking for? Sort of like I like to design, make my character work a specific way. Like you can make a build, right? Like in Skyrim, like you can build your character to function in a specific way using a specific type of gear and specific type of traits and feats or whatever they called it in that game, and leveling up certain stats. And you have a build for your character that you play a certain style. And I'll when I play those games, I usually play more than one character, and I play those characters differently. I focus on a different set of skills or abilities or weapons. And in Skyrim specifically, and Oblivion, I remember very much like I will play and I will only do certain quests with a certain character because this character's the fighter guy, so he's going to do the fighter guild stuff, and he might do some other stuff. He's not going to do like the magic stuff, because that's not his thing. Even though I know you can do it all, but like I'm role playing the character a specific way, and I love that about these games.
Yeah.
For me,
certain personality traits and all as well. Go ahead, Burley. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like I'm the same way, kind of, Carl, with having the different characters in like Oblivion. For me, I had so many different characters, and like because some of the quests will play out quite different with your options. So I would have a character or save scumming and going and seeing the different ways the quest will go, with what options I pick. For me, I'm really wanting to see what they're going to do for the story here, and how are they going to handle exploration? Are they going to be at like, okay, you now got your ship within the first hour? Can I go anywhere, or am I going to be like, okay, you're locked to this galaxy right now of 7 or 8 planets, but as you get better gear stuff for your ship, you can explore more? How they're going to handle that?
Boy, those communication dialogues there really remind me of Obsidian with the Outer Worlds. I mean, they do.
Well, yeah, Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, this has a lot of that feel.
Yeah.
Just space themed as well.
Yeah.
I want also, like you're saying, with exploration and space travel, I want there to feel like there's a reason to just travel the galaxy just for fun. Weird things like there's a game. I don't know if you know the Wing Commander series.
Yeah.
There was a game called Wing Commander Privateer, which was a spin-off in the franchise. And Privateer was about you run goods across the galaxy, basically. And there was a story that was going on that you can get into. But you could just go around and like upgrade your ship, add different weapons, get bigger ships so you can hold more cargo, go to different ports in different space areas and galaxies or whatever, and sell your goods for different prices depending on like their value in different areas of the galaxy. Mm-hmm. And like I would love to have that sort of aspect in this as well.
Diplomat. There you go, Carl. You'll be a diplomat.
Diplomat. Hey, look, I if you play Outer Worlds.
Oh yeah. There's that's all you are build. Is a diplomat, basically.
Well, if you play that build, it's actually really satisfying and fun. Like the sort of the diplomat, the all the dialogue options. You're good at all that stuff. Yeah. You can even build a character that you're not that strong, but you make your allies stronger.
Yeah.
So you're not relying so much on you doing the damage. You're commanding your people and you're buffing them.
Yeah, and the art of persuasion. Awesome. Yeah, and the art of persuasion.
That's awesome. And this game's gonna have allies. We know that already. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen any of that. But I guess
we saw the one ally, the still image of the robot.
Yes. I guess what I meant is we haven't seen it like in the gameplay, how that works.
Yeah.
The one thing I really want to know, like the base building, like I'm gonna spend so much time building bases, building my ship. Yeah. But the one question I really have is, what's the unique element of the combat? Because you have, Fallout's got the VATS system, and I love the VATS thing. I think that's really cool. Yeah. And there's other aspects to that game, and Skyrim or Elder Scrolls has, magic, really. Sword and sorcery stuff that's the melee stuff is more robust in that than it is in, let's say Fallout games. So like, what's this special combat feature going to be? I don't think we have the answer yet.
Yeah. And possibly they'll talk about that on June 11th. Yeah.
I feel like they'll talk about everything. I feel like that showcase is going to be like
2 hours long, probably.
Maybe not that long. Maybe 40 minutes. I don't know.
Who knows, man?
That'll be great. I will watch 40 minutes of Todd Howard explaining this game.
Well, maybe the three of us we can watch that show together. That would be really cool. Coming up on June 11th. So
yeah,
good stuff.
I'm so excited for this game, man. I cannot wait. Yeah. I'm mildly disappointed about it being delayed. Obviously, yes, technically delayed because they said everything in the showcase is within 12 months. And that to me was the mistake of saying that. I don't think you should have ever said that, but I feel like they put themselves in sort of between a rock and a hard place, and they did that because
kind of like Halo Infinite. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like they weren't. No, not really. They weren't ready to show things beyond. Like a certain range. So like, Hellblade 2 and Avowed, and State of Decay 3 and Perfect Dark and every other announced game that Xbox put out there, we haven't seen in a long time. They're obviously not ready to show those. So they had to set that expectation of like, hey, guess what? You're not going to see those here. Yeah. And then it hamstrung them into having to put these games into a specific time frame that they might not hit. Yeah. And there you go. That's where we are today. But that's the reason they put no date on it. They delayed Starfield. They delayed probably Forza Motorsport now. And they put no dates on them because they're like, look, we're just not going to tell you right now because we're going to wait till we have our date. And yeah, they do for this one.
And probably moving forward, they're going to do the same thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Unless it got pushed, like if Forza got pushed out of 2023, which it's not going to, then they would have to say something because they put out a graphic that says 2023.
I think no matter what they would have said for Starfield, if they wouldn't have given a date or like they did give one, they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't, because the audience has been craving this game and going. Some wavelengths of the audience have gone a little too overboard, to be honest. But it's just like, no matter what you say, it was going to be bad. But I still give them a lot of respects for just, no, we're not going to go for that date we said originally. We have to push back. But in June, we'll show you a lot more. And I'm sure it's going to be, they're going to have a lot to show. And it's going to be a huge thing of their presentation. Just show a lot of stuff on Starfield we haven't seen to really get us hyped up for September.
Yeah. Yeah, if Microsoft didn't buy Bethesda, I feel like this game would have been out on 11/11/22. And it would have been very buggy. Yeah. It would have been great, I'm sure. It'd probably be the same great game, but it would have had a ton of problems.
Yeah.
And like Microsoft has learned that lesson now. Like that you have to take that hit. You have to just delay your games. Like, because Halo Infinite didn't work out. And they did take the hit on. They delayed it a year and it still didn't work out. So like, well, to a certain extent. But Halo Infinite Season 3 is out now. People are liking that. So.
Yeah. Burley's playing it. Burley's playing it every day. Yeah. So.
Delays
that game got deleted as soon as they said, we're not going to do all this co-op and all the stuff we sold to you on the back of the box that we promised you, and we took your money because we wanted to go for live service. And
they didn't take my money.
Yeah, no, they didn't take my money, but people, but people did buy it. They sold that game. Okay, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole again, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, June 11th is June 11th is going to be big, guys. I mean, that showcase is going to be amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it. And seeing what they show more of Starfield and of all the other stuff that's coming down the pipeline. But yeah, June 11th is going to be big, guys. So we're gonna have to have some special event for that for sure. Yeah.
So delays are a standard of the industry, and if delays are going to piss you off, you should stop following the industry closely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's gonna happen constantly. It's always been the way it was, and it's worse now because games are more complicated and complex than ever before.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, how long have they been developing Starfield now? For years. Yeah. So and it's like that with a lot of games.
It's a very, very, very long time.
And probably they're still developing and working on it. I mean, even after the game is released, they're probably going to continue for years to put more content into it.
Well, they'll put out expansions, right?
Yeah,
and there's there's heavy mod support for that. It's going to be available as well. So the game's going to be a monster. Like there's a huge chance that game is 10 years from now is something people still play.
Yep.
And that's why you can't
just like Skyrim, it's like people are still playing. Yeah,
Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, like
Fallout
3
games. People play those games.
Yeah,
Fallout 4. I mean, they're re-releasing that, and Fallout 4 is got a lot of great stuff in it.
Yep. All right, guys. So that was our topic of the show. So let us know in the comments or in the chat what you think, and what you're looking forward to when you come to play Starfield this coming September. So let us know in the comments as well. So, all right.
How long do you think you're going to play that?
Yeah, how long?
You start playing it like on September 6th. I feel like I'll be playing that like into December probably.
At this time next year, probably.
It all depends when Spider-Man 2 comes. Because as much as I love Starfield, Spider-Man 2 is a day one there. I'm a huge Insomniac fan, and I love what they did with the 2 Spider-Man games. So as soon as it comes out, it's like, here's my money. How do I give it to you?
Put that Monopoly money down, Burley. Come on. Jesus Christ.
At least you got the 500s. That's the good ones.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll be playing Spider-Man 2 day one too. But yeah, I could see myself putting hundreds of hours into Starfield. I'm really excited for it. So
Yeah.
all right,
If
time.
I had a PS5 at that point, I probably would. Like if Starfield comes out first and I'm still playing Starfield and Spider-Man comes out, I'm probably not gonna get Spider-Man just because like I know what it is. I know what to expect. If I'm like deep into and loving Starfield, like I'm just gonna keep playing that. Like I don't.
Then why get a PS5, Carl?
Well, that's why I might not get it until later. Like eventually, when I have like the right timing, it's like I specifically want
During the
The
Because
right
I-
timing, like a
I can
year
wait.
before the PS6 comes out, right?
because I can wait for Spider-Man 2 and it'll be on sale. So like if I'm not planning to play it at launch, why not just wait and buy it cheaper?
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah. All right. So it's time to move on. So it's time to talk about the new game releases for the week of March 13th through the 19th. And this week, Burley, you are up first. What do you have for us?
I have for you guys Bayonetta Origins, Kreza and the Lost Demon. Long before this trainee of the dark arts would come to be called Bayonetta, she took a fateful journey into a forbidden Avalon forest. Alongside her was Cheshire, her very first demon, possessing Kreza's stuffed toy. Playing as both Kreza and Cheshire, and search through the treacherous forest to look for the power to save Kreza's mother. It is coming Friday, March 17th to only the Nintendo Switch. I really do like the art style on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but is it similar in any way to the regular Bayonetta games?
I don't think so because like it's the demon is the one doing the attack.
Mm-hmm.
The stuffed toy.
Does she do anything? It looks. I don't know. I'm waiting to see if she attacks.
No, she does. No, they said she can
She's
like stunning.
Oh, there you go.
Holding
Yeah,
them.
she's done that guy. It reminds me of Okami, although I think Okami's art style was a little different, but some similarities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of platforming elements to it.
Well,
Looks like.
I'm curious to see how this does. Review wise, I think sales wise, I think it's gonna be poor because it's like a full price game. I don't know how you can sell this type of game at full price. It looks like an indie.
We shall see.
Looks like a really cool indie. None of those are full price games.
Yeah. All right. So I'm up next, and obviously at the beginning of the show showed a little bit of a clip of Diablo 4. So of course the Diablo 4 beta is coming out. So the open beta and early access weekends for Diablo 4 feature the game's prologue and the entirety of Act 1. Characters will be capped at level 25, but you're welcome to continue ripping through demons until the open beta ends, which ends on the 19th. Early access is available to those who pre-purchased the game for PC or console or via social media giveaways. So yes, starts on the 17th. Yeah. So yeah.
That's cool. There's a lot of content, it seems, that they're giving you for this open beta.
Yeah.
It looks great, man. It really looks great.
Oh, the game is going to be amazing. Yeah.
And
I loved playing Reaper of Souls. So, I mean, it's been a long time since I played it. It's been a while. So I'm looking forward to a new Diablo and getting into it again. So,
and if you don't want to pre-purchase the game to get the beta, you can also, in the US, just buy it. I think it was the KFC Double Down sandwich and get codes. They announced that partnership.
I should do that.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper to buy the game because I'm waiting to see if this game just comes to Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling it will.
Yeah, it could. All right, Carl, you're up next. What do you got for us?
I have Valheim coming to Xbox One and Xbox Series X on March 14th. A brutal exploration and survival game for 1 to 10 players set in a procedurally generated purgatory inspired by Viking culture. Battle, build, and conquer your way to a saga worthy of Odin's patronage. Yeah, and this is on Game Pass. And this is one of those, the actual PC version was already on Game Pass.
Okay.
I wanted to try this a while ago, but then they announced it was coming to console and it was going to be on Game Pass. I was like, you know what? I'll just wait for that because I prefer to play things on console. I like survival games. I always like survival games is like one of those genres where like I want to like really get into it, but most of them are like kind of janky and not all that great.
No.
But I keep waiting to like, this will be the one, right? This will be the one that I love. You know, I mean, like Minecraft is a survival game, and I love that.
Yeah.
I try a lot of these survival games a little bit and dip into them, and you know, usually I don't stick around. If I had more time, I would, you know, probably play something like these a lot more.
Yeah.
But this one was a huge success when it came to PC, so excited to see the console release.
Yeah. Kind of, we're in a renaissance period for you know, Viking era games, obviously with you know, with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and you know, and all the other ones that have been coming out. So
Not just games, they had that I forget that movie last year. It had like Willem Dafoe in it, one Viking film.
I don't know. There's a lot of Viking themed stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a TV show. There's a bunch of movies. There's, you know, Thor. There's God of War. I mean, it's there's some other Viking themed games. There's one that came to like PS Plus or something, right? I forgot the name of that one.
yeah. All right. So those have been our picks of the week for the week of March 13th through the 19th. Of course, you can go to releases.com to check out all the games for the month of March, as well as into the foreseeable future, the games that have been already confirmed for release. So yeah, go there and check it out. So next up, we're going to be talking about Game Pass. So Carl, this is your segment. Take it away. What do we got for Game Pass coming up in the upcoming week and weeks?
All right, available already today is Guilty Gear Strive.
Mm-hmm.
The Arc System Works fighting game. I really wanted to try this one. I just haven't gotten around to booting this up yet. But I've always wanted to see one of these new ones in action on my you know, beautiful TV, because these games look great. Okay, you got Dead Space 2 and 3, which are already out now on cloud. These were already on Game Pass, but now you can play them via cloud, which is, you know, always something extra. Nice. March 14th, Valheim console. Remember, this is game preview technically, so it is still
it's still in development,
early access.
Yeah.
But a lot of these games generally that's how they are. So, like, don't that's not out of the ordinary for a survival game.
Yeah.
Get Sid Meier's Civilization 6.
Nice.
March 16th.
Nice.
Yeah, I've never played a Civ game, but you know, it's something that I'm sure I would enjoy if I could put the time into.
Yeah.
And then
you need a lot of time to play a Civ game.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom.
Yay!
Princess Edition.
Yay!
Which is on March 21st, console and PC. No cloud on that one.
Yeah.
I wonder why. I feel like the cloud will come later on that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Includes all the DLCs on that. And then also wanted to note that Halo Infinite Season 3 Echoes Within is also available now.
Yep.
People are supposedly really enjoying that, saying that is finally a worthwhile season for Halo Infinite. So. The two things I wanted to point out about this I thought were weird is that like Ni no Kuni 2 and Guilty Gear Strive, like these were announced at the Xbox event TGS, right? The previous year.
Tokyo Game Show. Yeah.
And I just thought it was weird that they like didn't tell us the dates. Like apparently, I don't know, maybe the dates were out there like somewhere, but like they never really advertised like this is the date that these games are coming to Xbox. They just like waited and Guilty Gear Strive like, hey, it's out today on Game Pass. I'm like, all right. might have been nice to know it was coming a little earlier. And Ni no Kuni 2 again, like, all right, at least we got a little bit of advance, like because yes, Game Pass is important, but like you can buy these games on Xbox also.
Yeah, but what's really special about this
games on Xbox? I don't know, that doesn't seem like something that's true.
But what's really
it is a foreign concept, barely. You're right.
But what's really special about the Ni no Kuni coming to Game Pass is it's got all the DLC with it. So yeah, that'll be good. Good stuff.
It's always nice.
Yes. I don't know if you guys have played the original Ni no Kuni, but yeah, it's a classic.
I have played. I got like 10 hours in, and then got myself whooped by a boss on that.
Yeah,
and it's like I really got to grind.
Yeah,
ride.
it was
And
the big seller out here in Japan. It was really good.
I remember it was a good seller over here.
Yeah.
I tried when it came to Game Pass. I just kind of wasn't into much of it really. I mean, I like the style of it was cute, and I appreciated it, but I didn't really get into the story it was telling and I didn't really like the combat. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. All right. So those are the games coming to Game Pass. So thanks for that, Carl. So now it's time to talk about the games that we're going to be playing this upcoming week. I'm going to probably get back to the Quarry a little bit, try to play some of that. So how about you, Burley? What are you going to play this coming week?
Some Metroid Prime.
Okay.
No,
You were playing
remaster.
some of that last week, right? Metroid Prime.
I did one session of that, and it's interesting to go back to a game you played like 20 something years ago, and you're like, I do not remember Jack. So
It's like you saying about Resident Evil 4. Like,
yeah,
I see those trailers. I'm like, I know I played this game. I don't remember any of this.
Oh, like Resident Evil 4, I remember the memorable moments with the chainsaw and running from the boulder and stuff like that. That stuff I could remember. Like Metroid Prime would be like, I don't remember shit about this map.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And
there's a lot of games like that. I mean, you played so long ago, and they're being remastered or remade, and it's like it's almost like a brand new game to you, because or either that or it brings the memories come back. But yeah, that's the cool stuff about playing video games, man.
Yep.
So yeah, Carl, how about you, man? What are you gonna be playing?
I do want to try the RE4 demo, and I do plan to play Valheim a little bit. But
Valheim,
also gotta go finish up the story in Hogwarts. So.
Hogwarts, cool. All right. So now I want to take a minute to give a shout out. Of course, this person, my son, is turning 20 years old this coming week on the 14th, and it was a lot of it was due to him for helping me to get back into video games again. After he was born and after he started growing up a little bit and started playing video games a lot. So, I just want to give a shout out to him. And it's been great, being able to spend any kind of time I can with him and, being his father and all. So I'm proud of him. And of course he's a university student now. But I just want to give a shout out to my son. He's turning 20. So happy birthday. So if he watched this later on YouTube, it's a special shout out to you, man. So and have some programming announcements now I want to talk about. Myself and Burley and Carl here on the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. Obviously, from tomorrow, we are shifting back to daylight savings time, I guess, in the West. Out here in Japan, we don't turn our clocks forward or backwards or anything, but out in the West, daylight savings time is starting again. But next week, we will be, because I myself have a lot of IRL things to do. So we're going to be taking the week off. So there will be no podcasts. And for Patreon, no post show on the 18th. So we will be coming back on the 25th with episode 127, our next episode. But from episode 127, from March 25th, we are going to be starting at a new time. So we're going to be starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So once again, 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time will be the time we start the podcast live here on YouTube. Okay, so just want to let everybody know that. So the next episode will be in 2 weeks, and it will start at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So I just I talked to Burley and Carl and wanted to make that change because I think that's a more reasonable time for a lot of you out there in the West, especially in the Pacific and Eastern time zones, to be able to come and and join us for the conversation each week on every episode. Most of you will most likely be up by then. So we decided to make that change. So so our next episode 127 on March 25th, we'll start at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So we hope you can join us for that. Okay. So next week, no podcast, and probably a lot of the other content. We're going to be taking a week off because I have some IRL stuff to take care of next week. But we'll be back from the week of the 20th with all of our other content as well, and the next episode of the podcast on the 25th. Okay. So with that said, it's time to end the episode with our indie recording artist spotlight. So this week's spotlight is on Milano. Milano's goal is to make people feel uplifted through music. From upbeat electronic bangers to vibey lo-fi instrumentals, there is something in his palette for every mood. From the title song of his album called Throw a Fit. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 126. So we hope to catch you in the next episode. So on March 25th, 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time live here on YouTube. Okay. So take care, everyone. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.